rise up in revolt and rebellion against the coming of the night. They shall not go into sleep quietly. They will not
First
go
of all, my lord, for you to insult my integrity and wish doom upon me, I will destroy you.
I'm not afraid of you. You sound like the voice of someone I can't take you on. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna go fight this battle. Wish me luck. Good luck.
I'll chew on
Goodbye.
your ankles. He came out of nowhere.
The keg is empty. The keg is empty.
Hey,
What do I do?
oh no.
I don't have a bucket.
I've got the buckets. I'll be
I
in.
don't got no bucket.
I'll be in shortly.
I've got the clothes where you don't have no water.
Wait, no, no!
Did you fall? Are you dead?
The fire! The fire! Run!
Are you dead?
I'm alive, somehow.
I don't know how to get away from this guy.
No! No! You set him off right as he got up there!
Oh. Are you dead?
I'm alive, just...
So, if we walk on this side, which shows as not having any bombs, good to know. We can go past it without being blown to smithereens.
Uh-oh. What is that thing?
You're
Oh, no, it's the fire!
fire monster!
You got it?
Oh, I'm a strong man. I'm a big strong man.
You ain't that strong.
I was strong enough. I just, got annihilated.
I'm a big strong man. Yeah.
Strength got nothing to do with surviving a lightning strike.
Right?
No. Or not. He's coming back to fight me. Uh-oh. I can't pin him. I can't pin him from the front, Chonky. Help me, Chonky. Chonky, help. He's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. Oh no, there's a big one. There's a big one, Chonky.
I don't know how to pronounce that. You cease.
Don't want to. I'm quite amused. You shut your mouth.
You do. Somebody clip his laugh, please.
No.
Right, you? Clip the
Fade from memory. Sounds a bit homo to me.
Okay, hold on. Before I... Are you buying cigarettes? He is glorious. I'm going to sell as much of this to him as I can before I arrest him. Because we know for a fact he is 3JQ, which is the person we were tipped off about. Yep, there it is. Contraband is cigarettes. I hope that's not the cigarettes I just sold you, sir. You have a wonderful rest of your night, Faith.
Oh my days!
Oh, wait, no, I missed! No, goodbye!
Oh, we lost someone.
That's
See, that's
No! I don't think that could have gone much worse.
Why on earth?
Oh, no. Joseph, they're voting for failure.
I mean,
You better be paying attention. No more burning pizza.
Okay, fine, Lord. What the heck?
Duh.
What the? This is outrageous.
Franchise.
No, the cheese, not the cheese. I'm surprised that he is still alive after that blast at point blank range.
Extreme violence.
Well, hello, chat. Why is it not capturing the game? Hold on, 1 second. Immediate tech issues. There it is. Okay, now it's capturing. Alright, welcome in, chat. Welcome in. We're doing things a little bit more relaxed today. We're not going to do our usual Bible readings and whatnot. However, we do have our verse of the day today, which we do have penned, being Hebrews 9:28 from the King James Version of the Bible. So Christ once offered... Here, let me pause that music real quick. That way I can read this without that being a thing. So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. And that shall be a very good day for us all, I reckon. So, what we're doing today is we're just chilling. It was going to be a Media Monday, but Valmonte is playing this, and I wanted to hang out with my friend. So, here we are. She is muted at the moment, but presumably she will unmute at some point, and when she does...
Hey, I'm here.
Ah,
There we go.
hello.
So my children are home for the summer.
Indeed.
So they're probably going to be in the background, but you know.
Hey, Mr. Joe.
No, that was not. He's like pouting now. From the blanket blob, he just lumped onto the floor.
Remnant. Hi, progeny of Val.
Oh, hi, Remnant. How are you, dearest?
Hi, Mr. Joseph.
That was not an invitation, son. My children all say hi. There, it's out of the way now.
Hello, all the children.
And now you choose now to say hello.
You're not.
You're not an invitation.
Yeah, but you're not.
Your face isn't an invitation.
You're not an invitation.
You're a goober. I have another child.
How you doing? Welcome in. What's going on? You have another child? What's going on?
Oh, I said I've got another child in the other room listening to Big Iron.
Ah, I mean, good choice.
They like Marty Robbins, which is good.
Yeah.
Good music.
He's got some pretty solid music. And
Yeah,
another
like
one in the oven. That's true, Remnant.
I do. I have another Marty Robbins fan in the oven. Proverbial oven. Don't actually have a child. So nobody calls CPS on me. We've been through this once before.
Don't worry. Don't worry, it's an idiom, everybody. It's just a saying.
The sheet?
My sheet.
What? Stop. Why are you...
Some
No.
people can't read between the lines. That is true.
And some people are just, out to get me. Like my mother-in-law.
Well, what's life without enemies?
Suppose so. Pray for your enemies, everyone. That's what the Bible calls us to do, even when you really don't want to. When you'd much rather see them fall into a wood chipper, you need to pray for them.
True. I'm not always good about that, I will be honest. I should be the first to admit it. If you have no enemies, you will not grow stronger, indeed. Do your kiddos enjoy playing with redstone in Minecraft?
I don't think they've really figured out how redstone works yet, and it's been a while since they played Minecraft because said mother-in-law is holding a lot of our stuff hostage, which includes our Xbox. So, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
What? Stop what? I'm over here cleaning. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know how redstone makes machines.
Calling a drone strike on my enemies. Yeah, that tends to be closer to what I'm doing than praying for them, and I should be better about that, but...
I think you have to throw a specific block for it.
You have to, use it in a specific way for it to work.
But I also haven't ever figured out redstone, so... They were adding that real late into my... whenever I was playing it. It was like a late addition back when I was still into the game. Pretty heavily.
We watched your Minecraft video, but it was all Java.
I don't know the difference between the modes. I don't know what that means. Like Java versus, what is it, like Bedrock?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think Java is the one that's closer to how it used to be, so that's how I played it, because I'm not interested in the newer stuff. Bedrock equals Microsoft cash grab? Fair enough. I didn't know anything about it. I just know Java was the one that was supposed to be like the more traditional one, and thus that is the one that had my interest, because that's what I grew up playing.
I played Java once on my iPad, but it never worked. I always died.
It worked. Just didn't have the skills, noob.
Now you are a noob because you're calling me a noob.
No, I'm not a noob. I can play Minecraft and not die.
No, it's Java.
Yeah, well, same thing.
No.
Noob.
No, you noob.
You're a noob. You don't even know what that is.
A noob is like someone that doesn't know how to play games.
Okay, you do know what it is. Nimbus. Get off my bed.
But Nimbus is so very tired from sleeping outside.
Oh, I feel so bad. Poor Flu. She had to stay outside all night long with her husband and children.
Truly an unfortunate outcome.
I know. She's so used to being a spoiled, rotten princess, and she loves to lord it over the other dogs, that she's the only one allowed inside. So the fact that she slept outside last night must have felt like a punishment. The truth is, I just forgot she was out there, and I went to bed, because I'm used to her letting herself in.
Mm-hmm.
She'll just open the door, and she didn't. I don't know why she didn't let herself in. I don't know if maybe the door was closed a little too tightly, and she couldn't get it open, because that door has a hard time latching fully, and the other dogs just don't. They're not door openers.
Yeah.
So if it's like cracked open, they'll nudge it open further, but if it looks fully closed, they just won't try.
They won't even bother.
Yeah. So, but Nimbus is like, I don't care if that door is deadbolted, I'm opening. She will undo deadbolt.
Also, yes, I am doing like the erratic spraying versus the normal, more methodical. You are not wrong, Remnant.
That's fine. I'm an agent of chaos.
Well, and I have the 3-prong one right now, so anytime I'm given the 3-prong one, this is like what I default to.
There's a 3-prong one?
Yeah. See?
Baby, if you're hungry, go make yourself a peanut butter and jelly. You are a big boy. Hey! Nothing. What? That's not what we were laughing about.
They were spraying each other. Hey, Captain Joseph, show her that she's a noob.
You go somewhere else. Children, dirty little rat.
That was so funny. I did not expect it.
Yeah? I think you're a dirty little rat in a trash can.
Well, I am a trash rat, so there is that.
And the only marsupial.
I'm the only North American marsupial.
Mom, can you please make me a muffin?
Sweetheart, you've had 2 smoothies already. Go make yourself something a little more substantial.
I've had one.
Go make yourself a PB&J. You can make that. You're always asking me how to make stuff on your own. You already know how to make that. Go make it. What's the point of knowing how to do it if you don't?
That hurt.
Oh yeah, that's El Paso.
That hurt is this broke.
Ooh, don't move. That is glass. That is glass.
Oh.
Okay. Joseph, I'll be right back. There's broken glass.
Alright, yeah, go deal with that.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I want you to get out of my room, son.
That is always a priority item to clean up, especially with young ones around. Sure. I don't know what it is with glass. Anytime it breaks, there's always like a little bit of that, like almost the dust type one. And that is the worst part in my book. I don't know about everybody else, but... And it's so very easy to cut yourself and all sorts of stuff on that. It is so sharp. I've been oddly lucky in that. I've never actually cut myself with glass, weirdly. Don't know how that's happened, considering I have, with so many siblings of my own growing up. I think I was just perhaps lucky and slightly cautious. Am I human? As far as I'm aware. See, I'm also that kind of person that has only ever had, like, a paper cut. And then after the one time I got that paper cut, I learned I very much did not like them and got very good at avoiding them. They hurt. They really do. Like, paper cuts are like the misleading ones. It's like, oh no, it's just a little cut. It won't hurt. Oh, good lord, does it hurt. That is a bitter sting. But at the same time, like, I've been in a car accident. I've been run over by a four-wheeler. In fact, I've been run over by a four-wheeler in that particular circumstance. It ran me over like 4 times before I was free of the wreckage area. And I would have been to this day, that is definitely one of those things. I was saved on that one. I was quite young when that occurred, and there are only 2 reasons that probably didn't kill me, and that is the intervention of God and the intervention of my mother, who I'm pretty sure he was very much guiding her on that. He kicked on them instincts real quick for her. Because if it weren't for her, that would have been probably a death sentence for young me. As that wasn't even a regular four-wheeler, you know. It was like, if you've ever seen the modified four-wheelers that are meant for, like, mountain work, you know, whenever you're taking them up into, like, really rough terrain. They're heavier, they're bigger, and they tend to be a fair bit more powerful than, like, you know, your standard sporting kind of four-wheelers. It was one of those, and that sucker threw us off of it at high speed, over the front of it, so we went over the handlebars, ended up in front of it. It ran over us like 4 or 5 times before we were, essentially, like, we had rolled far enough, you know, to get out of it, so that it quit running us over. And it had so much momentum, it still tore down a barbed wire fence. And I remember waking up and sitting up and just, because I was a little kid at the time, you know. So I sat up, opened my mouth to start crying, and all that came out was sand, because we were in the desert at the time. And I guess there was so much of it in my mouth, that it literally just poured out. Remember it vividly to this day. I don't remember much of my childhood, but I remember that. And the only reason it didn't kill me is, as it knocked us off, my mom grabbed me and wrapped herself around me. She got pretty busted up, but wasn't like, she didn't suffer any lasting injuries, at least. So we both walked away relatively unscathed. I had just blacked out for probably, I think they estimated I was probably out for a minute and a half. But yeah, very much a situation, because I was like, I don't even know if I was double digits at the time yet, so I was quite young. It would have almost certainly killed me. Oh, yeah. It definitely could have done, like, bare minimum, I would have had serious injuries if it weren't for her intervention in that, and God watching over us both. I've also thrown a car off a highway going 80 miles an hour. And I walked away from that unscathed as well. And that was a terrifying experience. And is why, to this day, I am still a little bit cagey about driving at nighttime, like if it's been raining. Cause literally, that was another one of those like moments where I definitely should be dead. But God intervened in my life and was like, no, you're stupid, but you're not done yet. This isn't the end for you. Because I had no right to walk away from that, especially that situation. Actually, now that I think about it, there have been several occurrences that I should not have lived through in my life. And each time have been exclusively the intervention of the Lord to spare my foolish self from dying a untimely death.
Well, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised, because I can think of at least 3 exact that, like, you know, there are plenty of ones where it's, like, hard to say if you would have actually died or something, you know? But there are definitely 3 that I am 100% certain where it's like, no, I should be dead there, but I'm not. And it, like I was saying, that with the four-wheeler crash, that is exclusively I am alive because of the actions of my mother and the Lord, and that is it. The car crash, solely on the Lord. Like, I should have died there. And then the reason I don't drink at all, even though I'm not, like, even if I were to drink, I wouldn't drink to get drunk, but I just don't drink at all, because I've also had a circumstance with that, where, a very unpleasant experience, and it put me off of alcohol pretty well between that and then just the, as anyone that's been in the service can speak to, the culture of drinking there is also deeply unhealthy. So it's just like lots of experiences there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Not that I can drink really at all, but
so that's the thing. I am capable of being a very heavy drinker. Like when I was in, because everyone drank so much, I regularly could outdrink most people I knew. Like it takes a lot to get me like properly drunk. And I had done it plenty of times while I was in this. I wasn't a Christian at the time, and that was just the culture of the military. You know, everybody drank to the point where. So I lived in the maintainer dormitories with the maintenance crews, and I always described it as like alcohol flowed there like water. You could walk out at any time of day because there was a little central pavilion in our building that was like it was a big squared up building with a little courtyard in the center, and in the center of that was a little pavilion. Any time of day, if you walked outside, there was someone sitting there drinking. Typically multiple someones sitting there drinking. And that was just the norm. So I could drink pretty heftily at times. But it's one of those things that's like, I'm not proud of that. It's not like something to be overly proud of. I guess there's the small like, oh, well, it means you're slightly more resilient to poison, but that's a pretty negligible thing.
yeah,
It's not something I'm worried about.
I discovered as I guess like a late teenager, like toward the end of high school, I discovered that I had a condition called brewer's gut.
Ooh.
Where I always used to make the joke that like I was a drunk walker, like I just could not walk a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of chalked it up to me being clumsy. But, turns out I was slightly tipsy all the time without drinking because my stomach was just turning everything wheat into, like, alcohol in my body.
Yep, that's not a super common affliction either.
It's not, and I have no idea how it happens. Oh, because I no longer have it, and I don't know how I got rid of it.
I didn't know you could get rid of it.
I don't know, but or at least maybe I don't like foods that are heavy in wheat. That might be why.
That could be a explanation. Is it would produce that like almost sickly feeling from being drunk from it.
Feel sickly.
So you might still have it. You just have naturally over time developed tendencies that keep you away from wheat heavy product.
Yeah.
To avoid the effects.
Yeah, so I discovered that because of that, I could drink very heavily and still function perfectly fine. Because as it turned out, I was just kind of partially drunk all the time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the worst part. So this is one of those things that we discovered while we were in, is there is no advantage to being a heavy drinker. Being like someone that can drink a lot without getting drunk. Because I'll be honest, 99% of alcohol is not worth drinking. It tastes atrocious. And it makes sense. It's literally a poison. It's a poison that we drink because we like like, a lot of people like that kind of lightheaded looseness that you get from it. And that's just a reaction that your body's having because it's fighting because you poured poison into it.
Well, it took a lot to get me to that floaty stage.
Yeah.
There were other people my age, I hit 21 and I was like, okay, I can legally drink now. And I was like, I might just like have a drink here or there. I never went out to drink, but
yeah.
we would have like a couple drinks at home or something and like play games or something.
Yeah.
And the other girls my age that I was hanging out with, they would have like a Mike's Hard Lemonade or something and be 3 sheets. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no possible way that you are that lightweight of a drinker. I'm like, that's 1 hard lemonade. You're faking it. This is fake. And you're dumb. But, then you find out that other people just have different tolerances. And I'm like, I could drink a whole case of these and not be floaty. Like, I'd be fine.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Whenever I was drinking in the Air Force, I could drink a full 6-pack no problem at any time and still function basically completely unimpaired. Like, I had to drink a hard liquor if I wanted to get drunk.
Yeah, and see, my best friend has a good portion of Native American in her.
Mm-hmm.
Does not handle alcohol well.
Yeah.
And her brother is so badly a drunk that he is dying of liver failure right now.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
And so he is severely addicted to alcohol.
Can I have a bite of this?
Yes, you can have a bite of that. But so we discovered that her tolerance and my tolerance are 2 very, very different things because after I had my wisdom teeth pulled, part of the issue why painkillers don't work very well on me is because of the brewer's gut.
Yep.
And so, so the painkillers they gave me just did not work at all. And I was in excruciating pain in my whole face. And I was like, you know what? Something has to change. Something, because I cannot keep handling this pain like this. And I was like, you know what? I've got a thing of cheap vodka in the freezer. And I was like, I'm just gonna drink some shots of this until I can't feel my face. Close that door. And so we did that, and she had just gone through a very bad, ugly breakup. And so she was emotionally medicating herself with the vodka while I was just trying to not be able to feel my face. And we got to the point where she had me about a 6th of what I had. And she was gone. I mean, gone. And I was fine. And I finally was like, yeah, I think my mouth is finally numb enough that I can stop. And I stood up. And I was like, oh, yeah. This is probably a good place to stop because I'm feeling a little floaty. And the massive bottle of vodka had been full when we started. And it was now.
Oh, dear.
So I had a very large amount.
Yeah.
Realized it because I was mostly fine. But I had to, having had at least like 5 to 6 times more than she had, I had to wrap my arm around her and walk her down the stairs and take her to the bathroom and get her into pajamas and put her in the bed. And I was okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like this is a huge difference in tolerance.
Yeah, it can be night and day for some people.
Yeah.
Like, I knew people that could fairly well keep up with me drinking back whenever I did, and they were, similar build most of the time. Like, that's a big part of it, is really, like, whether people want to admit it or not, a build does help. If you are a tall, big guy, you can typically tank a lot more before you're gonna go down than most women can, in general. Let alone even other men. Like, there were plenty of guys I knew in the service that I could drink more than.
Aww.
But
Bread is on the counter.
Like, for me, the worst one, and is the biggest reason why I don't drink anymore, is, so, it's weird because it stopped me And then I went into the military, so I had an incident that had happened before I joined. And I was too young at the time. Shouldn't have been drinking to begin with, but I was living with a dirt bag at the time, and he was a terrible influence. So, be careful about who you surround yourself with, y'all.
Definitely.
The crowd you're with can make or break you, and this is a perfect example of how. He was not only the one that got me into drinking, he was the one that ends up causing this incident. Which, I was drinking a lot at that time. Like, as in, that particular night, I drank a bottle and a half of vodka by myself. That was just from me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it was cheap vodka, but it was strong. So, that was a lot for one person to drink. But I had the sense to go to sleep sitting up. Which, like I said, I don't recommend anyone get into drinking. If you ever do drink too much and you're going to go to sleep, sleep sitting up. It will make a massive difference. It could save your life.
From choking on your own vomit and dying in your sleep.
Precisely what this story's about. I went to sleep sitting up. My roommate at the time, who was the one that had gotten me into it, dragged me to my bed and laid me on my back and left me alone. I woke up hours later drowning in my own vomit. Which,
thank God you woke up.
Yeah, I woke up at the last possible second that they think that I probably could have done it and survived it. If I had been asleep for another second, I would have died there. That would have been it for me. But I woke up, realized what was going on, because that will instantly sober you. Any brain fog is wiped out on the spot by that much adrenaline flooding your system, as your body realizes, oh crap, I'm about to die. And so I managed to roll over, and I think they said I fractured a rib, beating my chest hard enough to get to the point where I started, clearing everything out. And that is one of those things that, to this day, even in a casual, if someone were to offer, hey, let's have a single drink, you could not convince me to drink vodka. It would never happen. Yeah. Because that smell instantly takes me back to that moment of, horror and fear of, oh god, I'm about to die. Oh god, what's going on? I gotta do something. I'm gonna die. Which is a wildly unpleasant experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Same way with any kind of scotch or whiskey. I can't do the smell of it because of a very similar incident. I played a drinking game with some online friends that were not against, and during the process, I did not realize how much, or really how hard that was hitting me. It was very cheap.
Yeah.
And it tasted like butts, and I was just trying to get rid of it. And
yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I ended up, I had the forethought to go into the bathroom and lay down with my back against the wall. But it's I was laying on the bathroom floor with my back against the wall, and I had already lost a good deal of what I had drank prior to that toilet. But I did fall asleep there, and my husband was dead asleep, so he had no idea what was going on, and I was upstairs. And he just, he didn't know. So it was nobody knew where I was. It was dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Stupid. But I didn't realize, because of the brewer's gut, I didn't realize, how bad it was. Because when I was like, oh, I don't really feel good. I think I'm going to vomit. And I was like, I'll be right back. And then I just never came back. Because I stood up, and it was the world beneath me shifted, and I was like, oh.
That's a thing. Standing up is very important to do if you are drinking a lot. Like, stand up every now and then. You will discover how drunk you are when you stand up.
Yeah.
Sitting, you can't feel it.
Because I realized there was anything wrong until I felt nauseous.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit me all at once. Like, I just suddenly felt nauseous.
Yeah.
It was dangerous and stupid. So, there you go, kids. Don't drink.
Yeah, many a thing that... honestly, anything that young people do when they start drinking that is an accurate description. It is dangerous and stupid. Glad you never got into drinking? Yeah, Blake, that's it. That nothing good comes of it. I am 100% convinced anyone that says that they like drinking is running from something. There is something that they don't want to think about, that they don't want to have to deal with, and they're not going to go get counseling or anything. They're not going to talk to someone about it. So they're drinking to hide from it. Because that's the only thing that comes from it, is, like, you're not 100% there. So you don't have to confront things in life by doing it, which is not healthy. And and it's also only a temporary respite, because it has diminishing returns, and eventually...
You kill your liver.
Yeah, well, and eventually your body won't be able to keep up with it, so it's like... Eventually you're gonna have to confront it anyway. And you're just going to confront it with infinitely more problems that you're dealing with than you would have been confronting it with if you had just dealt with it in the first place.
And now you have medical bills.
Yeah, and those eat you up. It's just not worth it. The only reason I would ever suggest it to anyone, and this is under an exceptionally specific set of circumstances, there are two. One, you are grievously injured, and you do not have anything else available to help kill the pain at that exact moment. And that is very specific circumstances. And even then, I would, unless it's like a beer, like if it's a liquor or something, I'd almost still recommend try seeing if it's a high enough proof to use it for the wound rather than for trying to knock out your pain.
Yeah.
Or if for whatever reason you live a lifestyle where you're worried about being poisoned. If you're worried about being poisoned, that is a great way to build up a resilience. But that is a very specific thing. Most people have no need for that. And it's just a habit that we have left over from how we lived once upon a time, that people drink still so frequently, I'd say. Because there's not any value to it.
Why are you in here? You have to be quiet if you're going to be in here, son.
There was a time when you were worried you would be poisoned, Blake. I would be curious as to why that would be, but I shall not dig too deep. That being said, it is a thing, as there is actually a historical precedence. There was a king in what eventually became Turkey. At that time, it was still like a Greek kind of kingdoms. And there was a specific king who had microdosed for years on different poisons that he encountered. So he would take just enough of the poison to affect him, but not to kill him with it. And he would eat poisonous stuff, he would drink poisonous stuff, and over time, he built up a really strong resistance against poisons, and he did it because he was afraid of being poisoned. I think his father was assassinated via a poisoning. So it was like one of those things where he's like, that killed my dad, I don't want to go that way.
Yeah.
Downside, he eventually lost his kingdom, and while on the run, attempted to poison himself to avoid a capture. And the poison didn't kill him, it just made him grievously sick. Because he was too resilient, because he had been training his body to deal with it for so long.
Purposefully, to avoid being poisoned, why would you try to go that way?
I think it's because his only other option was what he ended up going with, which was skewering himself with his sword, which is a brutal way to die.
Yeah, okay.
So I can get it. Like, if my options are stick a sword through my gut or drink something and go that way, I'm definitely going to try that option first. Like,
most are a pretty bad way to die, though.
Yeah, there are very few good ways to die. It's basically just dying of old age surrounded by your loved ones. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I will give credence to dying in battle for a cause that you believe in, but that's more a good death in terms of, like, you died for something. It's not going to be a pleasant death. You're not going to die like, that wasn't hurting. No, it's probably gonna be a very unpleasant experience. But at least you're dying for something that you believed in. So, yeah, I would say 90% of death. Like, there are very few that would be anywhere near something I would deem as good. In your case, you were helping someone instead of calling the police like you should have. I see. Remnant, you had a friend that once in college that said vodka was only good for gargling when you needed to have a sore throat. Fair. I could see that. It's good if you needed to trick your body into thinking that it's warm when it's not, which is a very dangerous thing to do. I don't recommend it.
Not good.
Yeah, no, because while you feel warmer to you, you're actually colder.
Yeah, because your body pulls blood vessels or blood cells or something. It pulls the warmth in
to
the inner
protect the core.
Yeah, to protect your vital organs.
Yeah.
So if it's warming your extremities, it's not protecting your vital organs as well.
Well, and it's also just a thing where it's like, because you think you're warmer, you also tend to be more risk adverse to the cold. Like, you're not thinking that you're in as much danger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a compounding issue too. Like, there's no positive to it. It's literally only good if you were like, essentially you just didn't want to do something and you're like, so my example is I used it once as a strategy while I was in the Air Force, where I drank a big shot of whiskey to march over to the DFAC, which was where we ate.
Close
because
the door.
It had been snowing, and I didn't feel like putting on all my snow gear because I was lazy and tired and just wanted to get some food and knew it was going to be crappy food, so I just did that and then marched over there. Not a smart idea, but I wasn't going very far, so it wasn't like a particularly high-risk scenario for me. But if you're going out for any extended period of time, it is not a even remotely viable strategy. Basically, like I said, there's no circumstance where it's actually a good idea. They're
Voyager
just...
was that musical.
Oh,
I can hear it.
Yeah, the one that you were talking about the other day, The Prophet?
Yeah, The Prophet.
Okay.
I like that version of the Odyssey way more than the real one, because Odysseus in this version never cheats on his wife.
Understandable. That is a much better outcome.
Because that always bothered me. Like, he not only did he cheat on his wife, but he sired several children with the witch.
Yeah, the Greeks were much more accepting of that kind of stuff. Don't know why. There's a music called The Prophet, and he didn't cheat on his wife with Circe in it? Yes.
Oh, the song is called The Prophet.
Yeah, I don't know what the play is called. You've mentioned it, but I do not recall off the top of my head.
Musical.
It's what now?
Epic the Musical, because
Epic.
it is based on the poem The Odyssey.
Yes, so Epic the Musical, guys. That's what that is.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I like it. There's only one song in the entire musical that I just refuse to listen to, and I think just because I think it's garbage. But for the fact that it's an entire musical, like more than an hour long, and there's only one song in the whole thing I don't like, that's
That's not bad. Apparently, Remnant is offended that you had not shared this information with him sooner.
I assumed that you knew, Remnant. I'm going to be honest. I thought I was the last person to find out about it, because everyone else that I've mentioned it to that has any like musical background has been like, yeah, that came out like years ago. Isn't it great? Are you just now listening to it for the first time? And I'm like, yes. Mad that nobody shared it with me.
Barkon, welcome in, my friend. How are you doing?
Barkon, hi.
We've been talking about bad decisions in alcohol.
And
well,
Epic the
power washing.
Musical.
And Epic the Musical.
That.
Which is much better decisions.
It is good. It's a good musical. It is not super accurate to the original Odyssey story, but I like it. I think it's an improved Odyssey. I like it.
You're stuck in the Phantom/Les Mis era, Remnant? I see.
I love Phantom. However, Phantom, if you did not know, the Phantom of the Opera has a sequel. And it is the trashiest trash to have ever been trashed. It is horrible. Don't listen to it. Don't watch it. Don't give your money to any of it. It's bad.
That's a lot coming from her. She does know trash better than anybody.
I would know trash.
She knows good trash and bad trash.
I know good trash and bad trash, and this is bad trash. It is called Love Never Dies, and it sucks. It was written and created by Andrew Lloyd Webber, just like Phantom, but it could not be more different from Phantom if it tried. It is so bad. There are almost no good songs in the entire thing, if there's even a good one. All of the character development from the first story is just completely undone.
It's the same characters and everything.
Completely undone. And it just adds all these dynamics of, like, Christine is basically a sleut, and no.
That is a travesty. There's nothing more sad than a creator not being able to let their story lie and killing its legacy.
Well, the Phantom of the Opera was a book. I don't know if this sequel was based on a sequel to the book or not, honestly. So I don't know if this is a real continuation of the story or not, or if this was just Andrew Lloyd Webber deciding to do his own thing and ruining it. But
fair.
I don't know, but the musical is trash.
As you're concerned with The Last of Us, Blake, you are 100%... Oh, wait, no. Okay, recently... Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about, yeah. But yeah, no, The Last of Us is a great example of that, of not being able to let your story lie and end where it ended well, and instead you thought, no, I can do better, and then you completely kill your legacy. To the point where people just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Like, most people I know that are familiar with the Last of Us series are like, Last of Us, absolutely stellar. Last of Us 2, what? I don't recognize that. That's not a thing. We just pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Korra didn't happen.
Yeah, Korra was not very good.
She did not exist. She was not the next Avatar. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. That was somebody's cringy fan fiction that got turned into a show.
Understandable.
Horrible. Man, the Braxton Hicks today are real.
Hold on, now what?
Braxton Hicks contractions, they're like practice
contractions. Okay, yeah.
They don't hurt like real contractions are supposed to or are claimed to. I've never had real contractions, so I don't know. But it's just like a tightness, and it's like, it's uncomfortable, but not painful.
I was just confused. I was like, the what?
Braxton contractions.
Yes. Remnant asks, how often do you sing to the bun in the oven?
I don't sing very often at all.
Which is a travesty. She is quite good.
I used to be. Once upon a time.
Good. You're still far better than most are.
I used to sing in like church choir too, and I don't really do that either. But my husband wants me, now that we're joining a church officially, he wants me to join the choir. Just even if I don't like join the actual like productions that they do, just to get me back into the habit of singing regularly. But it's a little difficult right now because of the bun in the oven. He's kind of sitting, in there and cramping my style on the inside, so it's hard for me to get enough breath to sing properly. Because the majority of singing is knowing how to breathe properly and enough.
Fair.
Everything else after learning to breathe properly.
Are you saying that I've been practicing from the wrong angle? Outrageous. I can't believe this.
Properly?
From a singing perspective, I don't know what they consider to be properly. Is it the same as how a runner views it?
I don't know.
I was going to say, because it depends. Like, I learned differently for when I was a trombone player versus what I learned whenever I was in the military.
So one of the ways that I found that's really helpful to know if you are breathing like deeply enough and properly is to lay on your back and to notice like how your breath changes while laying on your back opposed to like when you sit up and are breathing normally, because you have to breathe from deeper down, kind of like where your stomach is. You'll notice your stomach moving rather than your chest. And that's deep breathing, which is where you breathe using the muscles in your diaphragm, which is that muscle underneath your lungs that kind of pushes your lungs up and down. And so when you sing, you should be using that instead of doing chest breathing, which is like normal speaking breathing. So for breaths, you get more breath to use, and then you have more breath control and support that way, which is important to have. Well, you don't have proper breath control, you're not going to be able to control holding notes well.
Fair enough. I guess I'm going to have to look into this. Because, yes, chat, I may or may not have started trying to figure out singing. Because I want to do some singing. I want to get good at it. Not very good at it.
I am not a music teacher, but I help where I can.
I'm going to make her my music teacher, guys. It'll be alright. We'll figure it out.
Don't expect to be the next American Talent winner with me as your teacher, but I'm not a good teacher.
You do not sing, Blake? Fair. I normally am that way.
Fish!
And I am well, Rebozo. How are you? Welcome in, and how dare you fish me? Outrageous.
I think that even for those who are not like, you're not a professional level singer by any means, but I think it is important for all people to sing, because if you do not like singing at all and you used to sing and it's just not something that like you hate, heaven's gonna be a rough place for you eventually, because we all gonna be singing praises to the Lord.
There's supposed to be an awful lot of singing there.
Yeah, so I think even if you're not like fantastic, it's important to sing, even if you're not doing it for other people.
I also just like doing it. I'll be honest, part of it is I just want to do karaoke streams eventually. I'd like to be able to do that as like a thing that we could do here. And as it currently stands, I would not be able to do that outside of like a couple of there's some like derpy songs that you don't actually need to be a good singer to sing, and I could do those, but the vast majority of them I would not be comfortable singing. Yeah.
Yeah, the last time that I sang karaoke out in public was on my husband and I's first anniversary. We went on a cruise, and they had like an open mic karaoke night in one of the bar areas, and my husband convinced me to attend and to sing. I sang exactly one song, and like I don't usually sing in front of people, in spite of my history of musical theater. But and it was fine. I did the song well, but it was actually "I Dreamed a Dream" from Les Mis, and everybody else was singing like Adele songs and stuff, and it was dead silent in there the entire time from when I started singing to the end. And it was so nerve-wracking because people were just staring at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, is my fly open? Why? What is happening? Why are they staring at me? Like, do I have spinach in my teeth? But I guess everybody just went quiet, and it terrified me. But there was a girl, like a little teenage girl afterwards, who approached me and was absolutely convinced that I had sung this song professionally before, like had been in the musical. And I was like, nope. And she's like, well, do you regularly sing? Like, and I was like, nope. And she was absolutely convinced I was lying. Like, I think she thought I was like trying to not blow my cover for something, or I don't know. She was like, there's no way don't sing that, like, this stuff on a regular basis. I was like, I mean, I sing it to my shower head. It's my biggest fan. But she was like,
she's a good singer, guys. It's unfortunate.
She was because I sang the words correctly as well, and on the actual karaoke thing, like, the words were incorrect in a couple places.
Yeah.
But I knew the song, so I was like, I'm not singing those words, they're wrong. So she was like, you know the words? You know the correct words, though? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I know the song. But there were only like 2 people who got up and sang after me that were actually like slated to sing. I think like the 4 or 5 other people that were supposed to sing after me refused.
You scared them off. They were like, I don't want to follow that up.
I guess so. But that was also before I had my tonsils removed. So since then, it has been much more difficult for me to sing because I got them removed as an adult, and there were a lot of complications, and the shape of the back of my throat is now very different, and I'm having to relearn how to sing. It's very annoying.
Mm.
And I just don't have the time for that at the moment that I'm willing to dedicate to it. So I don't sing much anymore. All of that to tell you that. There you go.
Yeah, I don't anticipate becoming a good singer, but I do want to become at least a passable singer. So I don't run people off with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've helped my husband in the almost 10 years that we've been married now. And he's actually, he was never like a terrible singer to begin with or anything by any means, but he's improved a lot over the years just from practice and just being willing to sing, you know, and to learn. And his voice has improved and his range has improved. And he sings in church now, like next to me in the pew. Like it's nice because I like listening to him sing. You know, he's not like, you know, Michael Bublé or anything, but I do like listening to him sing.
I think that's a fairly normal thing to feel.
And I'm pretty honestly picky about voices most of the time. Like especially when I was younger, I was very, very picky. It was very important to me because I wanted to be a professional singer, I guess, at that point. And I had a boyfriend or two that, having found out that I could sing, they were like, oh yeah, I love to sing. And I'm like, oh, you're a singer? Like, you enjoy that? And they're like, yeah. And then they would sing, and like I would just have to hide the horror on my face because of how bad they were. And I think it's people that like they think they're really good when they're not, and it's like, why has no one ever told you
Yeah.
they need to work on this, you know? But I had a couple of different boyfriends that were short-lived, but relationships. It was like they just thought they were very good singers. Like, we should sing stuff together, and I was like, no.
Welcome back from the ads, guys. Sorry that it is so long, but I had to find a balance that would allow us to get the pre-rolls turned off. This is the best I could find.
Well, the baby is definitely awake.
Kicking up a storm, he's in there stretching and whatnot.
Yeah, he's like rolling around, little gold medal Olympic gymnast in the making down there.
Remnant, I don't think I've ever heard you sing.
Remnant is an excellent singer. He has a very nice voice.
He says he doesn't think he is a good singer. So.
I very much enjoy listening to Remnant sing.
Well, there you go. Sometimes. You said sometimes. Fair. I think that's natural to doubt oneself from time to time. So long as you don't let it become something that's holding you back from doing what you enjoy, I don't think it's a problem.
One of these days, Remnant, you and I will sing something together. We'll figure it out.
Need to make more baritone songs for musicals and karaoke's that are always geared towards tenors. See, I don't know what category I fall into. I think it's tenor, but I don't know.
So the higher range of male voice, baritone is in the middle, and bass is the low.
So then I still wouldn't know. In my opinion, I do sound more like the higher end, but people have told me otherwise.
You're definitely not a bass, my dear.
Yeah, that I don't think so. That's like... I know two people I think of when I hear that, and that's like the, be like Rico, presumably. Maybe
Rico. Rico is a baritone.
Oh, okay. Then I only know one person that would potentially fall into that, and it is Uber.
True basses are rare.
Because he has an inordinately deep voice for his age. Like, it is shocking to find out he is as young as he is, and he sounds the way he does.
In my high school choir, we had one bass.
Yeah.
One. Exactly one. And he had been chronically smoking since he was like 13. So, yeah. He had a very deep voice. Very gruff, deep voice. But he was a good singer, surprisingly. I hope he has since stopped smoking, because it was destroying him, but...
Blake,
hopefully.
You don't know about my singing voice, but you hear alto tenor from me? I see. I'm still figuring...
No, it's too low to be an alto, but tenor I could see.
Well, fair enough. I've learned not to make assessments of my own voice. It seems to be a futile effort. What I'm hearing seems to be distinctly different than what others hear from me. Because to me, I have a very obnoxious voice that is unpleasant to hear, and I am driven mad hearing my own self, even in recordings.
Well, I feel that way about my voice, too.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying, is I think everyone's kind of that way. It seems no one likes their own voice, because it doesn't sound the way you think it sounds.
Yeah, my voice definitely sounds... In my ears, my voice is much deeper than it is on recordings. And in recordings, I'm like, who is this obnoxious mouse?
Yeah, that just seems to be the trend. So I have since I've been streaming, I have learned that I need to completely disregard what I think I sound like, and I now will default more often to what others think of it, because it's like, what I'm hearing is not what everyone else hears. And that seems to be the wise way, at least for me, to do it, because I cannot make a proper assessment. Because I've had multiple people say they like my voice, and then I hate my voice, and I'm like, I don't hear it. But all right.
Yeah, I like the sound of my voice in my own ears. I think I like that, but my actual voice is not apparently not good in my ears. I don't like it.
Yeah, like hearing yourself.
I actually absolutely despise hearing recordings of myself sing as well. There are some recordings in certain songs that I think are fine, but for the most part, it's like I think it sounds fantastic while I'm doing it, and then I listen to it later and I'm like, ugh.
Like, I'll be honest, one of my... Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
I just say I discovered this until, like, early high school, because I think this is the first time I actually heard myself on recording singing, and I was like, oh, no. That was all.
Fair enough. See, for me, it's become a thing where I think it's honestly one of the biggest things holding me back from figuring out how to do editing of my own videos, is knowing that I'll have to then go through hours of recordings of my own speaking. And that sounds like an atrocity to me.
Oh, no.
Like, even hearing myself in clips is enough for me to just be like, ugh. Going through hours of VODs editing it sounds like a deeply unpleasant, like, masochistic torture of myself. And I'm just like, I really do need to start editing videos and putting them out, and not just doing, like, all of my stuff as full VODs, but, like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can put up with myself for that long. It would definitely be a process.
I can understand that. I don't think I would be able to listen to myself talk in recordings like that.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I don't know how some people do it. I assume that those people do not mind the sound of their own voice quite so much. They may not like it, but I don't know if they have that same, like, revulsion to it that I have to my own, where I'm just like, hearing even, like I said, just clips of me is enough for me to just be like, ugh, why? Please, no, don't do this to me. I've done nothing wrong. This is cruel and unusual punishment. See, what I need to do is I need to figure out one of them AIs that are doing those for some people nowadays. See if I can figure one of them out and have it do it. So I can actually start putting out some edited content instead of just putting out my VODs and being like, here's a full unedited multiple hours of whatever I was playing. Or who knows, maybe I'll make myself learn it. I am in that arc right now where I'm doing lots of stuff that I'm trying to do that are like self-improvement. We've started going to the gym again. We're trying to figure out this singing thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
I
said, sorry, I was muted. I had a phone call.
Ah, that's alright. Remnant, you think you sound like Mickey Mouse to yourself? Yeah, I can feel it. My voice.
Not mouth.
Yeah, but I think that I don't know. Like, no, because you said it too. Like the voice you hear when you speak is lower than the voice that is on recording.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same for me as well. So I think that's that might just be the general thing, is like, to most of it. And that would make sense. The vibrations, which is how we hear, are more... I don't know if intense is the word, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I like sounds that I hear in my ears much better. But probably just because I'm used to it.
You said it earlier, Remnant? Let me see. You hear your voice inside your head, so it's different? Well, yeah, because, I mean, you think about it. Everything that we hear, it's vibrations hitting our eardrums. What we're speaking is just a series of vibrations we're releasing. That's what everything is. Everything is vibrations. All of existence is just different variations of vibration. And it's a matter of finding out what they do. But I can see how, like, when you're the speaker, it's gotta sound completely different just because of the fact that the vibrations are coming from you, and so your entire skull is processing it more, because all of it is vibrating with it. You know? I don't know. I don't know if the way I worded that made sense, but... Yeah, so we got the zip line. Remnant was asking if I had gotten the zip line that was over here. The handles of it and whatnot.
I have not even gotten over there yet.
Well, that's why I started on this end. I figured I'd start over here while you're on the other side.
Okay. I am eating a leftover steak.
Ooh, steak.
And I'm eating it with tzatziki sauce because we have tzatziki, and that's probably not something I would normally eat together, but, you know, pregnant. So I'm just going to eat it. It actually sounded halfway decent. It's fine. It's not the best.
I mean, if you can eat it, that's all that matters, I suppose.
Yeah.
You haven't had steak in ages? I haven't had steak in a while either. I need to have some. I'm essentially waiting. I got, I went and found out, like, all what I needed to go on base again. So I'm just waiting on the real ID type card. So that was all I was missing. And then I can go on base. And I'm like, I can go on base and I can do grocery shopping on base where I don't have to pay sales tax. Glorious.
Nice. I need to get a real ID done, but we have to do the tags first and get them switched over to the new address, and they won't let me do that because it's under my husband's name. So yeah.
See, Remnant, I actually disagree with you. I personally approve of real ID, and only for one reason. Because we live in a system that has been abused by people that aren't using them. Because there are an awful lot of people in this country that shouldn't be in this country that are taking advantage of our systems. And thus, because of it, I am actually in favor of it if it is enforced properly. I think that we do need more rigorous systems in that kind of... in things like identification. But that's just solely down to... And I would want it gone the moment that we could get it to a point where we don't have millions of people that aren't supposed to be in our country. Though I do get it. It's obnoxious. Getting a real ID is kind of a pain in the butt. But it's not, like, an unreasonable task, you know? It's not... Some people make it out like it's the most difficult thing in the world, and maybe it's different in other states. I don't think it is, but it's literally just... You need 2 pieces of mail with your current address and your birth certificate. That's all I needed. That seems reasonable.
Oh, yes, I could do it without having the tags done, because I have like 2 different bills that come here.
Yeah, I mean, so long as you've got the 2 things of mail that, like, state, hey, this is where you live with your name on it, and then your birth certificate. That's all I needed. I just walked in and got it done. And it's not outrageously expensive.
Yeah.
You just don't want to take a new picture of it. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I am. There's a reason we're on a self-improvement arc, and part of that has been going back to the gym. Which is why I also can't lift my arms above my head right now. Because it was chest day.
Yesterday about trying to get back in shape after the baby's born. We saw a picture of ourselves that came up as like a memory on Facebook. Mm-hmm. When I was pregnant with our oldest son.
Yeah.
And so skinny. We were so skinny. Even like being like, I think I was like 4 or 5 months pregnant. I was so skinny.
Yeah. That just has a way of happening. Especially with the food that we eat nowadays. Hopefully that will continue to improve, and perhaps we shall get back to a day, sometime in our lifetimes, perhaps we shall get to a point like how it once was, where, you know, in the 60s, people didn't have to work out to be in good shape. They ate fairly similar to what we eat, but there's just the question of what was in the food, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get back to that point at some point. That would be glorious. Instead of everything we eat having some kind of toxic forever chemical in it. Which you gotta wonder how most of that stuff gets signed off on. Remember the presidential fitness exam? Yeah, they don't do stuff like that nowadays. No one passes.
The what?
The presidential fitness exams. You failed sit and reach, Remnant? Fair.
I don't even know what that is. Presidential who or what?
It was like a standardized fitness test that they'd run you through. They did it in public school.
I mean, I was in public school, but I don't remember doing that. But then again, I avoided gym class at all costs.
Fair. See, it's funny. It's funny, Remnant. Whenever I took it, whenever I was really young, I could pass most of it. I was actually fairly athletic as a kid. And then my parents divorced, and after that, I didn't pass anything. I put on so much weight after that, and became very, very reclusive. That was definitely the trigger point where a lot of that stuff started downhill for me. Which is funny, because I never realized it as a kid. Then I joined the Air Force to get back in shape. So, no, actually, I lost weight to get into the Air Force. In 6 months, I lost almost 80 pounds. Like, I blitzed weight loss. Like, I lost a ton of weight to get into the military. It was crazy. Now, that being said, there were extreme measures taken. I went full vegan for 3 years. And I don't recommend that to anyone. Because that's what resulted... That was a big part of why I didn't end up staying in the military. Is because while the diet was great for losing weight, it was terrible for maintaining or building muscle. And so I could not... Like, I could initially meet PT requirements, but over time... my health was decreasing, and I got physically weaker because I didn't meet... I wasn't eating meat, so I wasn't getting my protein requirements, and there's also a lot of vitamins that you get in like a normal diet that you don't get in the vegan diet, and you have to take supplements or eat really bizarre stuff to get some of it, and it is not recommended. It also didn't help that a lot of vegan food being very new invention, a lot of it is very petrochemical heavy. Like, there are a ton of things that vegans eat that are just almost not any natural ingredients. It's like 90% produced chemicals and whatnot that they have mixed together to make a food-like substance that matches something, like especially in their fake meats and cheeses and whatnot.
Moth jelly.
Moth jelly. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
Moth jelly.
But there's just so much stuff that like your average vegan will eat because they say it's healthier, but it's just 100% made up of chemical byproducts and whatnot. It is horrifying. Like, you want to see the worst like unhealthy garbage food out there, look at like trying to remember the correct wording, but like it's not fast food. What's that word called? I'm blanking right now. My brain is like half fried right now. But essentially like frozen foods and stuff like that. Garbagey kind of low-level food that you'd eat. That stuff, you want to see some gnarly stuff, look at that with the vegans. Some of the stuff that they will eat is deeply worrying. It also didn't help that it was just, like, I had done it for health reasons, obviously. I didn't really care that much about the politics and crap that they have in it. And man, does that make you, like, enemy number one to a lot of them. Like, I had never been hated on more by vegans than as a vegan that wasn't, like, down with the cause. Because at that point, you were like a traitor. You weren't just an outsider. You were someone that was part of the system, but not on their side. And my God, do they hate that. That, they cannot stand it. Which made it a very unpleasant place to be.
I had a friend who went vegan for several years, and it almost killed her.
That's not a surprise. That is a common story.
Very, very sick after she cut out all animal products.
It's almost like we're meant to eat it.
Yes, she got very sick, and she was very, very skinny and very weak. And she ended up hospitalized.
Yeah, I was probably headed that route myself if I hadn't have stopped.
And when she went to meat, she did gain weight, but she was much healthier.
Well, and weight's not a bad thing. Like, gaining weight's not an intrinsically bad thing. It just depends on what your overall weight is. Like, where are you at overall, you know? Gaining weight if you're at a BMI of, like, 6 is not bad. Gaining weight at a BMI of, like, 35 is not good. Your mom went vegetarian, her hair started falling out? Good lord. That may be part of the reason that I'm bald nowadays. Is years of that. Did not do me any favors. Which is a shame. I actually was quite proud of my hair once upon a time.
I used to have very full hair. I do not anymore. My hair is very fine to begin with, and it's thinner. It's actually been better since I've been pregnant, just because of all the prenatals, I think. But I saw like several doctors about it, and I was like, why am I losing my hair? Like, what's happening here? And they were like, oh, it's probably due to stress. And I'm like, okay, well, I've been stressed my entire life and have not been losing my hair, so why now? I'm less stressed now than I was pretty much my entire life, and that's with a husband and children, so.
Yeah. Being bald is a symptom of extra testosterone? Is that the case? I've heard also the inverse.
It can be. So if you have too much testosterone in your system, you will lose hair from your head, specifically, and but in other places. So, for women that have excess testosterone, and they are out there, I'm unfortunately one of them, you do, like, your hair will thin on your head in the same, like, way that, like, male pattern baldness will occur.
Mm-hmm.
It will thin, like, on the top of the head, and then for a lot of women that have PCOS have the issue of high testosterone levels. And so they'll get like darker hairs like on their lip or their chin, or some in extreme cases will get hair like on their chest and back, because when you have excess testosterone, even in men, you will grow more chest and back hair while your hair recedes from the top of your head. Fun fact.
I did not know that.
Yes. Very common in Italian. That's why you see the bald Italian men with very hairy chests. I'm not sure what causes the excess testosterone, aside from hormones in a lot of the meat we eat.
Yeah. Hadn't given it much thought before.
I don't know who they got to voice Hermes in that musical, but I adore him. He's just the sound of his voice is like, he voiced him so well. He's very plucky sounding and like almost borderline ridiculous, but not annoying. Like still pleasant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I something about him. I want to bottle his energy.
Fair.
All right, that's a little painful. What's going on in there, kid? Ouch. It's like he's trying to like stretch out his little room in there, make more room, and it's like there's no more room to be had.
He wants a more spacious living quarters, but little does
Says
he know.
Have to knock this wall out right here, and it'll really space.
That'll really open the place up.
Please don't.
Oh my goodness. Eminent asks, are you listening to a specific recording, presumably of the Hermes individual?
Every recording I've ever heard is the same guy. It's just different little animatic videos. So I only know of one recording because it was all digitally done. Like I mean, I guess they did record it in Greece, so like they were all together, but it was not. There's like no video of it. It's all just recordings.
He was wondering if there was an official Broadway recording or something similar.
It's not Broadway. It was all done through YouTube, I believe.
That makes sense. Their presence in media has been dropping pretty distinctively Broadway.
Yeah.
They are no longer the center of such place as they once were. Kind of in the same way that Hollywood is in that, like, declining state of not really holding the monopoly on the production of media anymore. Now most people watch YouTube or Twitch or TikTok, stuff like that nowadays, instead of traditionally produced media.
Well, and a lot of stuff is being outsourced. Like, you know, that a lot of stuff isn't being filmed in Hollywood anymore. It's being filmed in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, on the opposite coast. Which Atlanta is just kind of like mini California.
Yeah, I've never heard good things about it. I've never heard anyone that has been there say a pleasant thing about the city.
No, Atlanta, I despise Atlanta with every fiber of my...
That seems to be the popular opinion of the city. Like I said, I have yet to encounter an individual, even one, who has spent any real time around Atlanta that has anything but that opinion of it, where it's like, it's a terrible, horrible place.
Yeah.
And that's normally a very bad sign for a city if everyone I have ever met opinion of the city is the same. It's
terrible, horrible place. It's a cesspool. It's like a giant drug den, and every street corner smells of pot. It is horrible. You can't drive through Atlanta most days without risking feeling a little bit buzzed and high by the time, if you have your windows down, by the time you leave, because it's bad. It smells so bad. You know, just like dead skunks. It just smells like dead skunks everywhere you go.
Yeah, so it does sound like California. I've also heard that it has very high violent crime problem.
It does, and Atlanta is #1 human trafficking capital in the world, not just in the country, in the world.
Goodness gracious, and people choose to live there.
And it's because of the international airport there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So.
A travesty.
Yeah. I almost got abducted once in Atlanta as a teenager.
Oh, holy moly.
Yep. By the grace of God, I did not.
Yeah, honestly.
I got separated from my group, didn't realize it, and looked up and was lost. The person that I thought I had been following was not the person that I should have been following, because he was wearing the same coat.
Uh-oh.
And not know where I was anymore. And a guy with super dark tinted windows started following me slowly down the road. And, yep, I was completely alone and was starting to panic.
Thank God that you didn't get grabbed.
Yeah, he actually, I was at like a crosswalk, and I ended up like jaywalking, like freaking out because I was texting my group going, oh my gosh, where are you guys? Like, I thought I was following the group leader, and like, you know, I was just kind of zoned out. I wasn't feeling good. Was the problem. I really shouldn't have gone. It was like winter time, and I had a cold or something, and I had wanted to stay home. I got kind of convinced to go ice skating.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't make it to the ice skating rink before I got lost and was just like zoned out. So I'm like texting the group trying to figure out where everybody is. And I'm like, I don't really know where I am. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm panicking. And the car that had been just like slowly following me down the street, the guy actually like stopped and like rolled down his window and was trying to get me to like come over to the car, and I ignored him. And when I ignored him, he stopped the car and opened the door and started getting out. And I panicked and ran around the nearest corner and started just like randomly darting down corners to try to get back to an area that was more highly populated, that had more people, and which ended up working in my favor. I don't suggest, panicking in a situation like that because that doesn't normally help. But yeah, I ended up rounding the corner, still trying to figure out where everybody was, and I ran face first into the chest of my team leader after like rounding several corners. I don't know how I ended up back with them again, but I ran straight into his chest and was like screaming and crying because I was terrified. Because the guy, I could hear him following. And he saw me run into this guy, this very large, like 6'3", broad-chested, grown man.
Yeah.
And like so relieved that I saw him and was like crying. And the guy, I actually saw him. He acted like he hadn't just been chasing me like at a dead sprint.
Good lord.
I was like hyperventilating. It was very scary.
Yeah.
Because like there's no reason for you to chase a stranger like that if you do not have ill intent.
Oh yeah, no, there are like a handful, a rare few circumstances where you may need to chase a stranger down for a positive cause. It is a 1 in a million.
Mm-hmm.
It is so very unlikely that it is not the assumption anyone is going to make. Like, no one's going to assume you're chasing that person for a good reason.
Yeah. So, that was, not good. I think that was the last time I went on any group outing to Atlanta.
Understandable.
And regardless, it was with a church, but still the fact that I got lost at all.
Yeah, I can't blame you. That would be enough for me pretty well to be like, I think I'm going to avoid this area for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and I have a half-sister who lives in Buckhead, who, even though Buckhead is the nicer part of town, I still refused to go visit her after that because I was like, I can't. I just can't. Like, her husband is not an intimidating guy, and I don't feel like any safer with him with us.
Oh,
she's scared.
Her husband?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
She is. So, if my itty-bitty, like, maybe 115, 120 pound sister is scarier than her husband,
yeah, that's not a good sign.
I don't feel comfortable, like, being there, and I don't feel safe. Because she can mean mug people, but that's only going to go so far.
Yeah, mean mugging only will deter, like, someone that really wasn't a threat to begin with, essentially.
Yeah.
Anyone that actually is capable of doing harm and has the intention of doing it, that's not going to do a thing to them.
No. We need the scaffolding over here. Yeah, Atlanta is it's not a safe place to be. I actually felt safer, much safer alone on the streets of New York City.
Oh.
Than I did in Atlanta with a group.
That is alarming.
As a matter of fact, I did not feel unsafe at all on the streets of New York City. Believe it or not.
Huh.
Not that I would recommend as a woman being there alone to begin with, but
Yeah.
I ran into no issues in New York.
Fair.
Why is this still not clean? Whoop. Alright, that's clean, so why... It still says it's not clean. Why does it still say it's not? Oh, okay, I found it. I got it. I did it. Obstacle 8. This is number 7. Platform? This? Don't see anything on it. Okay, apparently it was right there. I didn't see it, but I got it. The only thing about the animatic for that musical that really bothers me is like in almost every single version, because all the animatics are fan made.
Yeah.
In almost every version, there is a song specifically where Penelope, the wife of the main character Odysseus, she sings a song that is basically, she goes to the whole, whoever can string my husband's bow will be the next king.
Mm-hmm.
And they animate the bow wrong.
Oh no.
And it's like, that's not what his bow looked like. If it looked like that, somebody would have been able to string it. The reason that they couldn't string it was because it was a special kind of bow that required a great deal of strength.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's because the bow has to be, like, it bends backwards when it's not strung. So it's like inverted. And so all these men were having trouble stringing it because it had to be, basically he had to like do it a certain way. He had to like step into the bow and use the strength of his legs to hold it still to like then bend it backward to string it, and he had to like wrap it around his shoulders. It was like the whole, so it, yeah. And that was why none of these men were able to do that, and she knew that they wouldn't be able to do that, so it was just a ruse to keep from having to choose a husband. She didn't want to choose a new husband.
Yeah.
So, hoping her husband would come home. She is like the epitome of faithful wife. I love her side of the story. It's like, man, what a good woman.
Yeah. Son of a gun, I keep clicking on that. Chonky, welcome in. Are you back from work? Obstacle 9.
Obstacle 11 band. What band? It says there's a band on Obstacle 11.
Until Wednesday they changed up your schedule? Uh-oh. Even less hours, huh? Poor fella's not gonna be able to cover his half rent at this rate. There we go.
I don't see the bit that's glowing.
If you let it sit for a minute, it'll start flashing again. because they'll stop flashing once some water gets on them. Obstacle 10, outside tunnel wall. That's this sign, okay.
This is the band, and I'm spraying it, but ain't nothing happening. Where is it?
There we go.
You got.
Yeah, it was a little bit of it that was hidden behind the rope net. Yeah, these ones you gotta get a little bit outside the box sometimes because they can tuck them away in real weird spots behind the netting. Had 3 no-call, no-shows today. Oof. Poor little fella. Obstacle 7 brackets.
So I'm all the way back on obstacle 1 that I missed.
I love this song. It's always fun to listen to.
What is it?
Let me pull up its name because it's in Japanese. Mayonaka no Door or Stay With Me by Miki Matsubara.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, this child just rolled around. It was so much movement all at once. I was like, whoa.
Obstacle 12, slanted boxes. You don't need to apologize, my friend. No, wait. These ones, okay.
Wide boxes. Wide boxes? Oh.
Chonky, how dare you bonk me? There will be great repercussions for you.
Extreme violence.
Yes, it will be extreme violence. There we go. Obstacle 6 wide boxes is left.
Yeah.
That's it.
Trying to work on right now, but I can't find it.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, I don't do it quite as good as Rico does, unfortunately. I'm not quite as well suited for it as he.
Did you find it?
There's a little spot there, but
I'm just not seeing. Checking like up under the ropes and stuff. I'm just not seeing. Oh, it was under the ropes. I was just... Spray and pray.
Thank
care of myself outrageous. That being said, I did just stretch without seeing that, so that worked out anyway. No, Chucky, I won't do it again. You got your stretch and your sip, even if the stretch wasn't initially meant to be part of the take care of yourself. It still counts. Which one do you want to do, boat or truck?
Boat.
Okay, I'll do the car. Oh yeah, Chonky. While you're in there, and since you're listening, there is a new filter for the vent, or for the for the ventilation. It should be sitting out there. If you wanna deal with that, it came while I was doing this, so I haven't had a chance to go out there and use it. Yes.
A computer chair arrived.
Ooh, nice. Let's go.
I'll be right back. I have to go get it before it potentially gets stolen off my porch.
Fair.
I don't think it will. It's mostly old people that live here, but...
It's better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Those crafty old folks, you never know.
You never know who might, like, drive down the neighborhood who doesn't normally live here.
Yeah.
Okay. I shall turn.
Always burning since the world's been turning. You don't stop the fire. Don't want gamer grandpa taking it? Yup, exactly.
Well, I mean, it all depends. Whether or not I can get it all depends on how heavy the box is.
True, because you're not supposed to be lifting too much anyhow.
Yeah, so we're going to see, because I'm not supposed to pick up anything over, like, 35 pounds. So we'll see.
Come on.
Even that expensive. Or, not expensive. Heavy. It shouldn't be that heavy. It's just a chair.
Hey, start the fire. You're always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. We're trying to fight it. Hello again, Rebozo. Welcome back. Also, Remnant, to address what you had said earlier, because this is also something I've noticed in this entire game, the payouts are so startlingly low. Like $300 to clean the entire mansion, like to clean the entire obstacle course. I think it was $400 for the mansion, $300 for the obstacle course, and we're getting a couple $100 over here. It's basically like they're charging us like for the water we're using, and then we're just getting paid whatever the leftover is. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, I would 100% be using their water if they were paying so little.
Fish.
But I always had found that funny as well, just the fact that you basically aren't getting paid. You're getting paid bare minimum. The offset, the price of a lot of the stuff in the game, like the upgrades and whatnot, aren't ridiculously expensive. So it's not terrible, but it is funny, nonetheless. And how dare you fish me, Rebozo? Outrageous. I hope she's not lifting more than she should be right now. Tomorrow you'll be heading home for your mission trip, Rebozo? Good, good. How has it gone so far? Smoothly, I hope?
I'm sorry, I'm easily distracted.
Uh-oh. What happened?
I got it inside. It was a little heavy, so I didn't pick it up. We have like a dolly.
Oh, okay.
Booted it onto that and rolled it inside.
Okay.
And then
there's that.
And then I unloaded it and just kind of like slid it on its side in the box down the stairs. So I didn't pick it up. I was good.
Okay. I believe you.
But then I got distracted. My floof was floofing. She needs to be loved. Yes, sweetheart.
That you messed up, but except up is down and down is up.
We'll go back and fix it and make up and down down.
Okay.
Did you finish the boat for me? Or no?
No, I'm working on the car.
Okay, cool.
I was mostly just worrying if you were picking up heavy things.
I was not. I was good. I was good. I behaved myself.
A rare occurrence, I'm sure.
With previous pregnancies, I was not very good about that, but I have to stay pregnant this time. As long as possible, like full term. So I am best behavior.
Well, that's good at least.
I'm not taking any risks. Baby, no, I can't play that right now. That requires at least 2 adults to play. Because one of us has to manage you, and the other one has to manage the twin. That you can't really play that game with just 2 people. With that game, you need at least 3 people to play, honey. Yeah. Either way, it has to be 2 adults, or...
How do you get into Nintendo 64?
I just told your brother that if you guys require my help in order to play on that system, you ain't playing. Not happening.
Joseph can play over it?
Mr. Joseph cannot play a board game without physically being here with us.
I mean, there is the tabletop simulator. So you can kind of do it, but that's the closest.
On the hill.
What is it?
The Trail at House on the Hill.
I have not heard of this one before.
One of my favorite board games, and my son loves it as well, but we just don't usually have enough people to play it. And it requires a lot of reading, so even though my kids are good readers, reading and then following all the instructions that go along with it can be difficult for kids under the age of, like, 10.
Yeah.
Really, it recommends, like, 12 plus. But it's kind of like a horror story spoof kind of game. Who left my door open? So, you know, it goes by, like, you know, horror story tropes. And it's a board game that follows it. So, no, you're not. You are going to take that, and you're going to put all that back, and you're going to put it away, and you're going to get out of my room. Because you're going to lose them. The longer you have pieces outside of a board game, the more likely they are to get lost.
That's true even for an adult.
Yep.
Not just for children.
Mm-hmm. Well, honey, if you wish in one hand and you poop in the other, one's going to fill up a lot faster.
I can't say I've ever heard that particular variant of that.
The poop, baby. The poop.
Oh my goodness. There's how you know that the game's made by the British. Tire is spelled incorrectly.
Or why?
Yep.
My writing partner is Canadian, and they use the British spelling for words.
How unfortunate.
I ask her all the time, because I'm like, you know, she'll spell the word color or armor or things like that, and she adds a U, and I'm like, clue.
Oh, that's funny. Alright, Remnant, you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping in, my friend. We have enjoyed the conversation.
And then, Mr. Joseph, do you have an escape simulator?
Why are you in my room?
What's your way so that I can ask you if you play?
Hello there.
Okay, and I said no. Are y'all getting hungry? Or did you already make lunch?
North Wales Gamer, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. How did you find us?
I don't know.
And I must ask, with the way that you've got Wales spelled there, I presume, are you from the British Isles, then? If so, prepare yourself for a little bit of ribbing. I do like to give people from the British areas guff, though it's in good spirits, I think. I don't actually mean anything genuinely negative about it, despite the things that I say about them at times.
We were just ribbing on the spelling of things like color and
Yes.
armor. But that was mostly me picking on my Canadian friends.
Front axle. I wish I could get into the car and like use its steering wheel to turn tires.
Oh, I know.
That way I could get some better angles.
I wish I could just crash the car through the building.
You're not helping. I believe I told you you're not supposed to talk on this already. If this was my stream and I was a streamer, then that would be different. But it's not. You have to be respectful of Mr. Joseph.
There we go. There's where the dirt was. Jeep indicators. Which ones?
I don't know how it expects me to get down into some of these like angles down here. Like, how am I supposed to
Full cockpit things.
motorboat?
I know, I just had to like to jump around.
A footwell.
This,
Oh, a floorboard? Okay.
do they just like, do they just
Oh, I got it.
do they just keep like that like in mud?
I don't know.
These mud guns.
It's like everything here was hit by Pompeii.
We're not talking about the song.
Nope.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why are you
What
standing on
is
the
it? Oh,
glass?
it's under here.
You can crush the glass like
Yeah,
I
the
did.
glass is indestructible.
Why is everything made out of bedrock?
What? The trim. The trim is not done.
Come on.
Yeah. Myself.
Is it my fault?
No.
I was swinging.
You are very distracted. Stop.
Continue.
Donde está el dirt?
What does that mean?
That there was Spanglish for where is the dirt?
What's Spanglish?
Not, actually not quite English. Somewhere in between.
That, but what'd you say?
Porthole vents.
Cold.
Porthole vents.
That sounds like some words.
No, port.
I know if I said sounds like.
Siren.
What's
Window frame.
Eh.
I can do it 3 times as fast.
Where's the triple one? I don't think I have that.
Yeah, it's one of the attachments you gotta buy.
Well, I've got one that goes in circles. It's a very clean thing.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
Don't forget to clean.
That one got a bunch of work with me until I got the triple, because the triple does like a similar kind of style of cleaning, just a little bit more effective than the spinning version does.
Spray everything. And spray.
We only got $75 for that?
Yep.
This is
Oh no.
This
A
is-
maze?
Lara Croft is a bit of a cheapskate, it seems.
Lady, you're rich. Cough up the dough.
She's like stupid rich too. Like she's generational rich. She's not rich from her own work. She's rich from her father being rich.
half of all the dough. Until you don't have it.
Dagnabbit, Angelina Jolie. Where's my money?
Yeah. Dough. Where'd you put it? In the sun? Did you put it in the sun?
Stop talking. I love you, son. This is not your screen. It's not my screen either, so you need to be hush. Hush, hush, hush. Silence, my child. Oh, that did not sound good. Excuse me a moment, Giuseppe.
Alright.
Alright, scolding is done.
Alright, welcome back.
Scolding instead of scalding.
No, scolding is different than scalding. To
What?
scald is to burn,
What scold?
usually with water, with hot water. To
What?
scold is to chastise.
What's chest?
To get onto or correct.
Is this person?
I chastise you a lot.
Is this person crazy?
Yes.
Then they need to cut off saving up, and they better pay us big money for this.
You need to go do something else.
Why?
Because you are incapable of stopping
I had
yourself from
one,
talking.
I had one last year.
Baby, you've had like 12. You talk much, son. Baby, no, you can't handle it. I'm sorry. Son, doing that earlier is what broke a glass jar thing over there. So you really shouldn't be in here. Remember when I told you didn't need to be in here because you broke glass? Yeah, don't come back in here. They know I get distracted easily, and then they're like, oh, she's distracted. Let's go back into the room that we're not allowed to be in. Realize that they're in here because I'm distracted. Oh. Boys?
always something.
Be right back.
Alrighty, have fun. Always something going on in that household. Of course, anyone who grew up with multiple siblings, or especially multiple brothers, or anyone who has ever raised multiple boys can probably attest. That is always the case. There's always something going on in a house full of boys. There's never truly a moment of rest. Just moments of slightly less activity.
Left the room after I told him to leave, and he went and turned off the game console that the other two were playing.
Wow.
Violence. Like, I don't... He was like, I told them to turn it off if they were having problems. And I was like, I told them to turn it off if they were having problems they couldn't fix. I'm like, he was still attempting to fix it, and you just walked in there and turned it off on him. Stop crying. Then turn it back on. If you figured it out once, you can figure it out again. Yes, son. I just said that. I don't know, but get the car key out of your ear and listen. Oh my gosh. Child. I should not have to repeat myself 87 million times. Why are you in here? Why? I love you too. Thank you for the kisses. You should not be in here. There's stuff in here that you guys have already proven that you will break if you come in here. I've already had to clean up broken glass once today. Thankfully, the thing that broke, so we had to remove a ceiling fan that I'm pretty sure was installed when the house was built or shortly after this addition to the house was like remodeled or whatever.
Yeah.
This basement area was like redone and made into a master suite. And anyway, there's a ceiling fan that I'm pretty sure has been here since the 70s.
Oh.
And it is massive. And I don't mean like, oh, it's got a wide like fan blade. No, regular length fan blades, but the whole setup is massive. It's a big metal clunky chunky thing, right?
Oh dear.
And this is the one I was telling you about, that like one of the fan blades, while it was not on or moving or anything, just broke off and landed on my husband's foot in the middle of the night.
Okay, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and so we removed it. We got it all brought down, but like the little things, little holders that had the bulbs in them, or like little, I don't know, they're kind of like glass cups. And
okay, yeah.
dingy, like pink color
Oh no.
glass. Anyway, they're hideous. But my son, who was not supposed to be in here at all earlier, rolled off the bed in a depressive state because I told him to leave. So wrapped up in a blanket, he rolled off the bed, and thank God he was wrapped up in the blanket, because when he rolled off the bed, he landed on one of those glass cup things on the floor, and it broke.
Oh.
And that was the broken glass, but thankfully it just one piece broke off. There were no little tiny shards. Like, I fitted it back on there and there were no cracks. I've never seen glass break that way before. But I was like, oh, it's just one piece, thank God.
Yeah, that's fortuitous. It's also very good that he was wrapped up in that blanket then.
Yes.
It would have been very unfortunate for him to have gotten injured doing that.
Yeah, because then he would have been in trouble and getting stitches.
Yep.
Which, he does not need to get stitches again. This is the same child that ran face first into a table when he was 2 and had to get stitches right inside. And he still remembers that. That's the horrifying part. Like, I thought, oh, he's 2, at least he won't remember this. And he's like, no, I remember them putting the little, like, washcloth over my face so I wouldn't see the stitches. And I was like, Oh. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll admit it's perhaps something I shouldn't laugh at, but it is
No, it's fine.
slightly funny.
I mean, he's the one that is feral and ran face first into a table, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like all little boys are a little bit feral, at least.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was saying it while you were gone. I was like, anyone that has grown up in a household or raised a household of young boys, because I was like, there's always something going on in their house. And
oh my gosh.
I was like, that's just the case. If you've got a household full of of little boys, of kids, boys growing up, it's like, it's always going to be something.
There's just chaos.
It's not, like, there's never peace. There's just moments of slightly less insanity.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I grew up with 3 brothers and a little sister, so I know the feeling.
Yeah, I grew up with 3 brothers in the house, and I was the youngest, and there was just always chaos.
Yeah, there's always something going on.
So our house, when it was built, we were the only family that ever lived in it, and it was built for us.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was built, it had carpeted floors throughout. And we destroyed that carpet because we're feral children. And after the carpet was ripped up and replaced with like a laminate kind of flooring, we discovered that if you put Pledge on the floor, which is like, shiny wood cleaner, it makes the floor really, really slick. And you can put socks on and basically go. And the youngest of my brothers, who is still 5 years older than me, he was also the heaviest of my brothers at the time. He was a bit pudgy. And, he decided he was going to go skating with the rest of us. And he put on some socks and went skating down the hallway that we had just recently coated in Pledge. And he lost control, and he was going a lot faster than he should have been for his mass. And he went top of his head first into the wall, through the wall. So that there was a big mic-shaped head hole in the wall. Had to explain when our dad got home.
I'm sure that was a fun conversation.
Mm-hmm. And he immediately tried to blame me. Said that I made the hole in the wall. And my dad, in one of his very, very rare moments of, intelligence, took my head and put it up against the hole in the wall and noted that there was an excess amount of space.
Yeah, it was far too large.
Yeah, and then took Mike's head and put it where it fit exactly into the hole.
Yeah, put his head there, and it's just like, well, the shoe fits.
Yeah. I don't know, bud, but you don't need to be here. Can't be quiet, honey. You are physically incapable of shutting your mouth for more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes is being generous. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Go read a book. You have plenty of books to read. You have not read the second book in the Percy Jackson series. Go read that. It's a great book.
Oh, yeah.
You will very much enjoy it. You really enjoyed the first one. Go read the second one.
I would even recommend it.
And you know what? From all this research, after watching the stuff about the Odyssey, you'll know all kinds of stuff about the Greek gods now, and it'll make more sense. my kids actually really hate calling them Greek gods, which I think is great.
Yeah.
They're like, false gods, Mom. I'm like, yes, absolutely. And they're like, you can say deity. And I'm like, yeah, you can say deity. And they're like, because deities they're fake, they're false gods. I'm like, that's right.
I've always defaulted to calling it myth.
Yeah. Well, we've established that if there is a definitive possibility that the pantheon of Greek gods were real beings. But if that is the case, they were demons.
Yeah.
And we discussed that at length. So.
And you're not incorrect there. And it would go a long way to explain some of their proclivities.
Mm-hmm. And to explain the demigods that were created in the process.
And the monsters that were created in the process. Yep. It all goes a long way if the explanation is that they are demons. Suddenly a lot of it makes more sense.
Yeah. So we've just started talking about, mythology and that kind of stuff recently.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a lot of things like I pre-watched pretty much all of the musical before the kids watched it.
Smart.
Specifically because of the whole island, like Circe's Island.
Yeah.
Because when you in any movie about the Odyssey, it's usually like if there's going to be a graphic scene of any kind, and there's thing, it's that because you know the story, Yep. So, I was like starting to panic because I was watching it and I realized that they were watching over my shoulder when it got to that point, and I was like, because I thought that there was about to happen, and I was like, oh no, and like had to like exit out of it and then go watch it alone to make sure that it wasn't going to show anything. And I was like, okay, thank God he doesn't actually in this version do anything stupid. But yeah, they were like, what were you so worried about, Mom? I was like, that is an excellent question that we are not going to answer today. Next question.
When you're older, you'll understand.
There is a line in one of the songs where Odysseus is murdering all of the men who came to seduce or try to become the next king when it had enough and they had decided they were going.
Yeah.
So in the song, he's like, you plotted to murder my son and do something else to my wife. And my children were like, what does that word mean? And I was like, oh dear.
Uh-oh.
So I had to, in child terms, explain what that was. And that was not fun. But
I can imagine.
When you treat someone who is not your wife like your wife against their will.
That's about as good as you can explain it.
Yep, that's how we left it. And they were like, okay. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I'm so impressed that. I mean, sometimes they will press on like some of the weirdest.
Yeah, you never know what a kid's gonna fixate on.
I'm like, please don't fixate on that.
It is utterly unpredictable, and to attempt to would be a waste of time and energy. But that is also a very good sign for you as a parent, that I can... My parents never even once, as far as I'm aware, pre-watched anything that they showed me. They just full sent and hoped that nothing questionable would arise.
Yeah, we pretty much pre-watch or pre-read anything if we know the kids have it. One of the things that we really have not liked about public school is that none of the material that they let these kids read or check out of the library is pre-read by anyone.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, this is the rating on it. That's fine. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't care what the rating on it is. If it contains certain kinds of themes or materials, like, that should not be the rating on it.
Yep.
So
I'm right there with you on that.
that was very frustrating for us on several occasions. My son was reading like a Minecraft comic book series that like the characters were just like kids who were stuck in the Minecraft world or they got like sucked in or something like that. And that his teacher, I really liked his teacher. She was great. She actually she was so sweet. We had to leave her behind this past year because when we moved, we had to change schools, and
Yeah.
she was heartbroken to lose Wyatt because she really loved him.
Yeah.
A really like dedicated teacher. But she didn't know that this book series had certain things in it that were absolutely inappropriate for children. Inappropriate in general, but especially in a children's book series. Like, there is no reason to include a lesbian couple as main characters, especially not children.
Yeah, that's
a couple.
Yeah.
And because like my son, he was like, I don't really like these characters. And I was like, oh yeah? And I was like, what do you not like about them? I was like, it's just because they're girls and you don't really care about the girly stuff and you want to get back to the boy characters. And he's like, no. And he's like, I don't like that they kiss. And I was like, I beg your pardon, they do.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I was like, is it like a mommy kissing her daughter on the head? He was like, no, and he showed me the book, and I was like, okay, well, I will be contacting your teacher. He got it from school.
Yeah.
And she was like, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. And she's like, and I guarantee the librarian did not know. Because the librarian was more conservative as well, but yeah. I was like, this is not appropriate for a, second grader.
Yeah, that's just... You can't trust modern rating systems anymore. Because the people that are in charge of them are degenerate. So, I definitely would treat anything that you see in a modern rating system with a grain of salt.
Good book. You just can't be in here, baby. I love you. Sweetheart, it's not the end of the world. It's gonna be okay. If I were playing this and you were not streaming, he would not give a crap about being in here or me being on a call. Like, it's just so frustrating. He's like crying because he can't be in here. And it's like, for one thing, you're not allowed in my room anyway. Like, my bedroom is off limits. We keep a lot of stuff in here that is to be kept away from y'all because you can break it or it you.
Yeah. Like, you're a child. There's many a thing that you don't have any need to interact with or access.
Yeah, and it's like we keep those things in here because this room is off limits. And then this room is also off limits because we keep those things in here.
Yeah.
So, it's like, son, this has been the rule since before you were born. We established that there were not going to be children in our bedroom.
And they are testing those limits.
They don't even attempt to come in here when my husband is home. Like, they know. But and it's like, I know that you know. Little stinkers.
Yeah.
But mom is a softer target, and they're like, oh, well, let's go in there. It's like, why do you even want to be in here? Well, because you're in there. No, because I can be in here any other time, not doing this, and you don't care. Although the dog is just as bad. We had originally decided there were going to be no dogs in the bedroom, and she won that one.
Yeah, that one's not as surprising.
We also, by we, I mean my husband, had decided that there were going to be no dogs in the bed. And she's also won that one, too. Blue basically gets whatever she wants. She's rotten. very loud.
Yeah, I mean, that happens pretty frequently. I feel like most of the time there's at least one dog that will get that permission. And it makes sense. Like, it's...
Sure.
You don't restrict the dog going in there for the same reason you restrict the kids going in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's also not going to wrap herself up in a blanket, launch herself off the bed, and while having a pity party, and then break a glass jar on the floor. So,
Or she's very unlikely to.
she's not going to. For most, like, Velociraptor psychotic, she's never done anything that crazy.
Yeah.
The worst thing she's ever done was do a hole through the wall because she was upset that she couldn't be in the bedroom with me.
Ah.
Which is understandable. She is my Velcro dog. I say that, but then I don't even know where she is right now. Probably out in the living room. She's very much been enjoying the couches since we got them.
Mm-hmm.
Are we fighting?
Certainly
Guess
what it
fight-
sounded like.
Sorry, Joseph. What
Hmm?
did you say? I'm sorry.
I just said that's certainly what it sounded like in the distance there.
Are y'all fighting?
And Garrett, since how it works, he says we do.
So you are fighting. Because y'all don't know how to disagree without fighting, and that's the problem. If you're disagreeing, you're fighting. Are you getting frustrated with the system because you can't figure it out? Are you lying? Why do I not believe you? Fun. Yeah, because you lie so often, I don't know when to believe you. So tell me the truth, and we won't have this issue. Are you struggling to figure it out? Okay. Thank you for telling the truth. Yeah. Are you getting angry about it? Because it sure sounds like you guys are getting angry about it. Okay, well, if you're getting angry at Garrett, then the two of you need to step away, take a break, take a breather. When you're calm, you can come back and try again. Is he getting mad and frustrated about the thing too? Because it sure doesn't sound like it. It really sounds like you.
Well, because I would listen, like you say, when he knows nothing about it at all.
You know nothing about it either, son. That's why you're learning. Yep, go get a snack. Oh my gosh, Joseph. You sure you want
What's the question?
you want kids someday?
Yes.
They're pretty great, but I mean, you know, you might change your mind. You can borrow mine for a couple of days and really make your decision. I love my. I mean, there's a reason we're having more, but
Yeah.
ugh. These arguments. It's funny. Used to be my boys were so truthful that I could trust anything they say.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. And now they've gotten to the point where they're more worried about getting in trouble, which it's like the punishments aren't even that bad.
Yeah.
You're like trying to get out of getting in trouble by lying, and I'm like, dude, you wouldn't have even been a punishment if you just told me the truth, and then we could have fixed whatever the problem is. But it's like, now that you've lied, there is a punishment. And then you not only lied, but you had to lie to cover up that you lied. After that. Now we're getting a butt whooping. Like,
Yeah, it's like you dug a hole.
but it would have been like, oh, you know, you get something taken away from you for a while, or some other thing, and it's like you repeatedly lied, knowing that you were lying to lie some more to cover up. an issue.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
It's like, well, congrats, you made this so much worse.
Yeah. Just...
Yeah, unfortunately, that is how it is.
I have lost you somewhere in the maze.
Yeah, I'm in the center of the maze right now.
Okay. I think I'm still at the beginning cleaning things. Did you go straight for the center?
I started working in towards it. Yeah, I found like a one of those, what is it, the pergolas or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found the hatch that leads into the center area. So now I'm in the center area cleaning it off. The altar with the gnome's a bit odd, I'll be honest.
There's an altar with a gnome. Oh, there's a gnome on every map, isn't there?
Yep.
We've really been trying to encourage the boys to like figure things out on their own recently. And I struggle with that because I want to just fix it and then have them stop fighting about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I want to just fix it. And then until you all stop, I cannot handle the fighting. That grates on my calm so much. I'm not a fighter. I don't like to fight. I don't like it when other people fight.
Yeah. That's fairly normal. Most people don't particularly care for it. I'm one of those rare occurrences of the individuals that enjoy a bit of conflict at times. But
see,
there's also exceptions.
I don't do conflict and I don't do drama. So as soon as there's like drama that has started or like a major conflict, I'm like, yeah, I think I hear the ghost of my grandma calling. I'm just gonna like head out for a little bit, like,
I mean that's also 100% reasonable. Like I said, I acknowledge I am not the most I'm not the usual response of being like, I like confrontation for the most part.
I am very non-confrontational. I appreciate your willingness to be confrontational, though. that has served me well in the past.
I am glad to have been of service, my friend. Even I have my limits, of course, and I dislike drama, even though I don't mind confrontation. It's normally I do confrontation to head drama off at the pass. Mm-hmm. But even I have limits. There are certain... Like, there's some things that I'm like, that's just dumb. I don't feel like being involved in it. But, for the most part, yeah, like, I am not adverse to it, and I blame that being on the fact that I was one of, 4 boys. So, duking it out was a not uncommon solution in our household for many a thing.
Yeah, see, I despise confrontation. I will avoid it if possible, but when I get to the point, and you've seen that before,
yes,
where I've had a point where I have to be confrontational, and I am not pleasant to deal with.
No, you tend to come down quite hard once you're put to that point where it's like,
If I have been pushed to the point where I now have to confront someone over something, they are not going to enjoy it.
No. And I certainly have no wish to find myself on the end of that at any point.
I could not imagine you being on the wrong end.
I will endeavor to maintain that as the status quo, as I have no wish to change that. I'm quite content with that.
My mom, I had to confront an individual once in front of my mother, a grown woman who is unfortunately now married to my half-brother. And I had to confront her once over some very serious allegations. And that were just lies that she was spreading. And I actually managed to, when I have to confront someone, I do manage to stay pretty level-headed about it. I'm just not friendly or pleasant. And I'm very direct and very blunt. And my mother had never had to see that side of me before, and she was there the entire time while I was confronting this person because she had believed this person to be innocent. My mother is very gullible and very loving and sweet, and just couldn't imagine that this person who presented themselves as innocent and sweet could have started drama. And so when I sat there confronting her, exposing all of her lies one after another as she told them, my mom was just like in shock. Like she was just in awe and was getting like more. She wasn't even the one that I was, getting onto, but my mom was like getting more and more uncomfortable having to sit there and watch all of this and seeing that side of me.
Yeah.
And afterwards, like, she was like, I can't believe, like, that I fell for that she was, because I called her out on every single lie, this girl.
Yeah.
And I did so calmly. But I was absolutely enraged on the inside. I was so done with all of her drama and lies. But afterwards, my mom was like, "You're scary." Are you scary? And she's like, "You're scary." And I was like, yeah, I'm about as terrifying as a marshmallow bunny. I mean, like, that's fine. Ocarina of Time is difficult, but go ahead and play it. It's a great game. But yeah, she was like, I don't ever want to be on the opposite side of the table from you having to confront someone ever again. She's like, I know you weren't, none of that was directed at me. I know you weren't talking to me. And she's like, but you were scary.
I mean, there's always something, like, that's a thing, I think, for a lot of people, is someone that doesn't get angry often is a scary prospect when they do get angry. And there's also something about, because I get a feeling that you might be similar to me in, like, it's a cold anger. It's not like a getting up and yelling and getting mad, but it's that simmering kind of, like, you can tell that they're furious, but they're containing it. That scares the crap out of people. And for good reason. Typically the people that have simmering anger are also exceptionally capable of extremely, like, it's cold because it's boiling. And if it boils at, like, anyone who's ever cooked has seen what happens, something that is at a boil is controlled. When it boils over, it gets out of hand very, very quickly. And so there's always that threat of someone with a particularly cold anger, that if that boils over, the potential for a violent outcome is certainly there. And I think subconsciously everyone's kind of aware of that. So that cold anger scares people because everyone knows how to deal with someone who's, like, just traditionally angry, someone who's yelling and shouting and whatnot. Basically, if you give them some space for a bit, most of the time they're going to calm down. They'll cool off. But someone that's just quiet mad, like, what do you do? Oh. It's also just not as common, so that also doesn't help. People prefer things that they're familiar with. Well,
my mom was used to my dad, who is a yeller. Like, he gets mad about everything and screams and yells about everything. And I am not like that because he is like that. So,
well, and honestly, 9 times out of 10, those people aren't really anyone to be worried about. If you blow up at everything, then it's like, you're...
Well, he's the type to blow up at everything and then actually lash out while blowing up.
Yeah.
So, there have been a few incidences where, like, stupid things that he got angry about. Like, I was sent to the store to buy a can of green beans, and I did, and I came back with apparently the wrong kind of green beans, and that enraged him, so he threw them at me, and the can was lodged in the wall behind me.
Good lord.
Very nearly missed my head. So...
yeah, that's not healthy.
Anger. We fixed a lot of walls in that house.
Yeah, I'd imagine. That's not uncommon with someone like that. You have no choice, otherwise the place will end up falling apart.
Well, I mean, he still lives in that house, and it is falling apart, so...
Yeah, well, now he doesn't have a bunch of kids around to fix up all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least, hopefully he doesn't.
No. Thank God. He's a bit old now, so I think his ability to philander is no longer there.
Yeah, it is greatly diminished.
So... oh, I think my husband's home. Oh, there is food here. Go get him, Floof. Go get Daddy. Good girl. She was laying at the end of the bed, so I couldn't see her on the floor. But yeah, just because of the way that my dad was, though, like, just the way he would just blow up about everything. Everything was a blow-up scream match battle for really no good reason. I'm just not like that.
Understandable. Every parent is a model. It's just, are they a good model or a bad model?
He was definitely the perfect example of a bad model.
Yep.
Textbook bad parent.
Yep, and every kid has a choice to make when they've got that kind of a parent, and sadly, I think your outcome is the less common one. The choice to see the failure of the parent and decide, well, I don't want to be that. That is unfortunately not the normal, that is not the common response, sadly enough. Because it's that or you become them. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that.
Of the 4 of us, 3 of us turned out pretty good.
Yeah. 3 chose the correct option of reject that, learn from the mistakes that you witnessed your parent make, and grow into something better than they could have ever been. So that's still good, at least. It's a shame, though. Yeah,
the 4th one did not turn out so good.
Yeah, unfortunate, but...
Did you go down into this hidey hole?
Is it the thing with the hatch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. That's what leads to the center.
Oh.
How rude. Where you're trying to work. Oh, this is one of those songs. Oh, I want to learn how to sing so I can sing this.
What song is it?
This is I'm Still Here. If you've ever seen the old movie Treasure Planet.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
Jim's theme from that.
Have you heard the Colm McGinnis version of that song?
I don't think I have.
I really like Colm McGuinness. He is an Irishman who lives in the States. He makes a lot of music. He is his range is between. Actually, he ranges all the way from tenor down to a true bass.
Oh wow!
And he has an amazing voice. He's very funny. But he makes some really good music. I don't like every version of every song that he does, because he does like to incorporate a lot of that bass into the songs, and like he doesn't always fit in my but yeah, I like a lot of his versions of a lot of songs. Like he does do you know the song I Want to Be in the Cavalry?
Yes. I love
So
that
he
song.
does song, and it's so good. It's so good. And he also does the Rattling Bog.
Okay.
And he does have a couple of bits in there where he does like the true bass, but it's really funny if you watch the video, because like he's got like different parts that he does layered in the video, and he wears like a different sweater for each different part, and they're like kind of fighting over what part they're singing. It's really funny.
I may have to go look him up after the stream.
Yeah, he's very entertaining. I can send you some links. He's an excellent singer, and he's very entertaining. If you look up his channel, like he's so goofy that the his picture on the channel is him with his eyes, like his mouth like wide open, actually hitting one of those super low notes from some video he did, but his eyes are like rolled back in his head, and it's like, he looks ridiculous. It's funny. He's funny.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for that song. I loved that movie as a kid. Top notch.
There's a movie. I didn't know there was a movie.
Yeah, Treasure Planet. It's a...
Oh, that one. Okay, I thought you were talking about I Want to Be in the Cavalry. That was the last thing.
No. That is also a very good song, but for different reasons. That one, I think there's just a certain old nostalgia that anyone that's got a soft spot for soldiering and warrior lifestyle and all that stuff of the old days. I think there's everyone that's got a soft spot for that can enjoy that song.
Yeah. I think that song's kind of funny in a few ways too, or like the guy, he's the point of view of the person singing. He's like, I can't be on a ship because I'd be seasick.
Yeah.
And I don't want to march because I'd be slow.
Yeah. Very good song. I also just like songs that I think I might have a chance at being able to possibly sing halfway decently, and that falls into that category of like, it's not spoken, but the singing isn't like something crazy. It's not operatic. It's not like super high speed like something in rap or something. It's not guttural screaming like metal. It's a song I could see myself being able to actually sing.
It's not Mongolian throat chanting.
Yeah, I don't know any Mongolians that can teach me the secret of that one, unfortunately.
Neither do I. I don't think it would sound right if I did it.
It'd be peculiar, I'd imagine.
I can hit some pretty low notes for a woman, but I don't think that's quite in my range.
Yeah, some of those are very low. Even for men, a lot of those are quite low notes.
Betcha Colm could hit him. Good old Colm.
I think once we're done here, that'll be where I wrap it for the stream and for now.
Sounds good. My husband is home, so I'm going to make him put my computer chair together.
He's finally home from his job. He can do his real job now. Alright, let's see. What's not clean? Maze center floor is not quite clean. Oh, no.
What? Really? I don't see anything. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, it was the edge. It's kind of hard to see just because of the overreach of the plants. Stone decoration plinth.
Really? Wait, did you go down the hatch?
Yeah.
Wait for me!
Never.
Okay. This way?
I don't know. I'm just going to wander around till I find something that is it. I don't even know if it's necessarily something out here or if it's something in there. Just
I don't know.
like, what is a stone decoration plinth?
I don't know. I don't see anything glowing.
Oh, a plinth is one of these things.
Right here, I found it. My inability to tell when something is clean or not.
Yippee!
Yay! So, what's with the 3,500 at the top? Is that how much we made, or?
That's probably your total that you've got. Because mine's 58, 52 up top.
Oh. Oh, it shows you. It shows us cleaning it from the top down.
Yeah, it's the only way it could, I guess, in this case.
Whoa, it was a big kick.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I watched my whole belly like shove over to one side.
Huh.
Whoa.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, my son said he's practicing karate in there. What it feels like.
I could see it.
Yeah, I think I'm done as well.
Alrighty, thank you for joining me, my friend. I have enjoyed it greatly.
That was fun, relaxing.
Thank you for letting me watch.
Except for all the yelling I had to do with my children. That was not all.
It's we shall do some more another time.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me watch.
Alright, you have a good rest of your day, Val.
You too, Joseph. I'll catch you later.
Alright, bye.
Bye. Wyatt.
Alright, chat. Thank you for coming in, hanging out today. Glad to see you all. Glad to see so many people popped in. Very much enjoyed y'all's presence. I hope that you enjoyed the game. I will be back again tomorrow, so long as nothing changes. Then tomorrow we will be doing some contraband police, but we shall see. You never know, that might change. Today was supposed to be Media Monday, and that didn't happen. Regardless, you all have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless y'all, and stick around. We are going to go and find our raid target. Bye! You have a wonderful rest of your night, Faith.
Oh my days!
Wait, no, I missed! No, goodbye!
Oh, we lost someone.
That's
See, that's
Wait! No! No!
Did you fall? Are you dead?
No, the fire! The fire! Run!